What if the next time you clicked Buy Now, your package spent weeks trapped in customs, and when it finally arrived, the duty was bigger than the price tag? Last year, Americans ordered more than 1.36 billion low-value parcels from overseas, 6 times the volume a decade ago. Yet overnight, most of those bargain boxes from China now face tariffs up to 145%. How did the biggest loophole in global e-commerce slam shut so suddenly? And what happens to your cart? To understand the shockwave, we have to rewind to 2016, when the Trade Facilitation Act quietly raised America's de minimis threshold from $200 to $800. That single line of law turned cross-border shopping into a superhighway. By 2024, online retail worldwide topped $6 trillion, and U.S. e-commerce alone is on track for nearly $1.2 trillion this year. Fast fashion apps like Shein and Temu built entire business models around shipping thousands of tiny packets, duty-free, straight to your door. But on April 2nd, President Trump signed an executive order ending de minimis treatment for goods originating in China and Hong Kong. As of May 2nd, every t-shirt, phone case, or flower hair clip from those regions meets a wall. Either an ad valorem tariff of roughly 120%, rising to $145 for most textiles, or a flat fee that starts at $100 per parcel and doubles in June. The White House framed the move as a strike against fentanyl precursors and counterfeit goods, insisting adequate systems are now in place to collect the money. The effect was immediate. British beauty chain Space NK turned off its US checkout button. Understance, a Canadian bra startup that sews in Shenzhen, posted a blunt Instagram, "Sorry America, we'll be back when we figure this out." Even Polly, famous for club dresses under $50, quietly added 20% to every US price. Shein tried to calm followers. "Most styles remain affordable," the brand wrote, while pushing a new Ships from US badge. Temu went further, front-loading its homepage with items already in American warehouses so buyers wouldn't get sticker shock at delivery. If you're wondering whether companies are exaggerating, listen to trade lawyer Cindy Allen. "We're going from 0 to 145%. That's untenable for small sellers and for customers." Kuru Footwear offers a case in point. CEO Brett Rasmussen says a pair of $175 ergonomic sneakers now risks more than $300 in duties if it crosses from the brand's Canadian depot. Kuru scrambled to move 3 months of inventory into Utah warehouses before the deadline, but concedes it can't keep that game up forever. Tariffs are only the first hurdle. Customs now demands a 10-digit tariff code and a breakdown of every component's origin, down to rivets and dies, on each parcel. For microbrands that outsource fulfillment to third-party logistics hubs, that paperwork is a migraine. And the Postal Service? Parcels leaving Hong Kong must have duties prepaid or they never lift off, adding a brand new layer of friction software engineers are still rewriting platforms to handle. Meanwhile, the numbers driving policy are staggering. Customs and Border Protection processed about 139 million de minimis parcels in 2015. By last year, the figure had ballooned above 1.36 billion. Officials say 97% of intellectual property seizures now come through the small package channel. In a Capitol hearing, CBP's Pete Flores warned that limited data on low-value shipments makes screening for fentanyl salts like finding a pill in a haystack. For consumers, the haystack is about to get pricier. Analysts tracking checkout data report average fast fashion prices, jumping 40 to 100% since Friday. Delivery times are stretching too, as brokers double-check declarations. One Brooklyn buyer tweeted that her $12 acrylic nails carried an $18 duty notice and had to be claimed in person at JFK's mail facility. Expect more of those social media shock stories over the next few weeks. Yet not everyone is panicking. Brick-and-mortar chains such as Primark, which sells only through physical stores in the US, see an unexpected tailwind. "When online prices go up, mall bargains start to look pretty good again," joked its parent company's CEO. Domestic artisans on Etsy, who source locally, also hope the playing field finally tilts their way, though Etsy itself is hustling to add origin label tools so its sellers don't get caught out. Globally, ripples are spreading. France is pushing the European Union to slap handling fees on cheap parcels years ahead of Brussels' 2028 plan, citing the American crackdown as proof of concept. China, predictably, calls the tariffs economic bullying, but is already lining up exemptions on U.S. pharmaceuticals to blunt its own pain. JD.com, one of China's largest retailers, just launched a $27 billion domestic sales initiative to absorb inventory that would once have flown across the Pacific. Here's a mid-video puzzle. If the US move helps high street retailers today, could it also accelerate nearshoring tomorrow? We'll unpack that supply chain twist in our next episode, but first let's close the loop on our opening mystery. What happens to your cart? Short term, look for 3 signals. 1. A local warehouse tag or a US flag icon near the buy button. 2. An import duty line at checkout. If it's missing, assume the courier will collect on delivery. 3. Rising minimum order thresholds as stores bundle items to spread paperwork costs. If a site suddenly insists on a $50 basket before free shipping, you've spotted the new math. So what do you think? Will these tariffs push you back to physical stores, or will you pay the premium for instant online gratification? Drop a quick vote in the comments. Capacity is tighter than you might imagine. Until then, thanks for watching, keep your receipts handy, and I'll see you in the next one.